Greetings Celtic warriors and Irish boxers, I'm Chevalier, and this is the initial situation of the Irish nations and their guide to conquering the world, or basically to the mid game, because honestly past the mid game everything is just a blob and you can probably kill everybody. And now let's actually go into it. As you can see, we're at the start screen, and I want to go first over the ideas here because they differ to some degree. There's Irish ideas, Sligonian ideas, Tokmondian ideas, and the Desmondian ideas, and each of them have quite have different modifiers. Now, because every land here, every nation here is a OPM, it's good to actually choose the best ideas if you actually unify Ireland the fastest. You should choose the best ideas possible so you can actually unify Ireland the fastest way. Now, let's actually start with the Irish ideas and let's go over them. So you have the trade efficiency plus 10%, trade steering plus 10% with at maxed early legitimacy. This is not great. There are plenty of better ideas that you can have at the start. And honestly, the more it goes, the trade efficiency is not going to be useful for you until you actually have a node, I would say, or have a node that has a decent amount of trade power into it. Although you're quite close to the English Channel trade node, this channel here, you're currently in the North Sea, and until you can actually move to the English Channel, it's gonna be quite a while, to be honest. Now, next you have the land attrition, minus 10%. Not great, to be honest. You have the stab cost modifier, minus 10%, not that great as well. You have the national unrest, which is quite good. You have the national tax modifier, which is good as well, due to the fact that you have to build tolling dispatches. And the diplomatic reputation is decent as well. Early papal influence is situational, depending on if you plan on staying Catholic or not. And the last one is rebel support efficiency. It's only good in PvP scenarios at best, where you actually have to support rebels. Although it would be useful when you try to actually grow in power. Again, by the time you actually get to this last idea, you should probably be quite big, probably have the whole of England. Overall, the Irish ideas are not great. To be honest, they kind of suck. They don't give you any military ability. Basically, more manpower, more discipline, combat ability, etc. And they also don't give you a faster expansion, except for the national unrest. But again, you need to actually be more efficient on points. So overall, they quite suck. Now, the Sligonian ideas. You have the build cost minus 10%, plus 1 diplomats, and at max you have 4 maintenance. The build cost is not that great. The diplomats are quite useful in the early game, I would say, mainly because you need to fabricate tons of claims and they are quite useful. Also, they are a duchy. Remember, they are a duchy, so they'll have two, not three, not advisors, goddammit, diplomats. Overall, I would say that there are a C, maybe a D in starting ideas. They're not that great on this thing here. Now you have the data efficiency, not that great, as I said before on the Irish ideas. You have the wholesale core creation, which is useless. You have the accepted coastal threshold, which is quite good. You have the spy network construction plus 10% and the foreign spy detection. I guess the spy network construction is gonna help you a little bit, but overall they're not that great. They quite suck, I would say. There are plenty of better ideas than this, better modifiers than this that you can have. You have the military technology cost. These are quite good. Now, I would say that it's quite useful because you can actually get a higher heavy military tech, which is gonna help you. But again, there are decent better modifiers. I would say that can be better in the overall in the campaign. Again, troops, like always, you need more troops. And the next one is naval force modifier. Again, it's gonna be good in the mid game when you actually want to take on England or Scotland, but later on it's not that great. with the last one being Tolerance of Heretics and Heathens +1. Again, decent is gonna help you expand to some degree, but overall they're not that great. Again, overall the ideas are not that great. I would say that they are kind of crap. I would say they don't give you that. They don't give you more military power, except for this thing here, which is I guess a semi idea that gives you more military power. Naval force limit can also be counted, but again, not that great. Now, the Tochmondian ideas. They give you tolerance of a true fate, core creation cost -10%, and cost to fabricate claim -25%. Now, as you can see, these are the best starting traditions that you can actually have, that you can have so far. Basically, tolerance of a true fate is going to allow you to keep lands in check faster. The core creation cost -10%. It's excellent. And the cost to fabricate claim at max is quite decent, especially because the provinces in Europe are gonna be quite costly and in points, and you're gonna have to fabricate claims faster depending on the wars. But there can be better, but still they are the best so far. Now you have the diplomatic reputation, which is decent. We have the land force limit modifier, which is great. We have the tax modifier +15%, which is quite high, I would say, which is quite good as well. We have the mercenary maintenance -35%, which is good as well, especially in the mid game perhaps, when you actually want to take on Scotland and England and you run out of manpower. Production efficiency is decent as well, especially in dispatch when you have to build tall. The Elite Army Tradition +0.5 is gonna give you probably around a minimum of 10 Army Tradition always. It's gonna help you with morale. It's decent, I say. With the last one being global center increase +50%, which is quite good. You're gonna aim for the new world at some point, and this is gonna be quite good for you. Now, let's actually go to the last idea set, which is the Dismountian ideas. They give you national manpower modifier +25%, you have the garrison side +25%, and force defense. Garrison side for defense suck, national manpower is decent overall. They're not better than the Tochmondian ideas at the Tochmondian traditions basically. The next one is build cost crap. We have the step cost modifier crap. We have the morale of armies +10%, decent. We have the core creation cost -10% and province war score cost. The core creation cost is decent. The war score cost not that great. I would rather have -50% cost core creation cost or -20% core creation cost. Overall, you have the core creation cost, which is quite good, although it's not a start as the Tochmondians. You have the diplomatic reputation, diplomatic relation +1. Decent, I would say. You might want allies in the mid game to fight off England or France or whoever you want to attack. Next, you have the monthly war exhaustion -0.02, and the prestige from land battles. Overall, not that great, I would say. Yeah, not that great. There can be tons of better. If you had maybe a 0.5 or something like that, it could have been decent. But right now they're not that great. Now let's look at the next one, which is the admin tech cost -10%. It's not that great. It's gonna help you keep up with the points that you're actually gonna get, but with the admin points cost, and gonna help you get up in tech your westerns, so it's not gonna count that much. Now overall, these all ideas, I would say that the Tochmondian ideas are the best to actually start conquering stuff. They have the core creation cost +10% and the Taurus of the True Fate at start, which is gonna help you keep the conquer the lands cheaper and keep them in check a lot more easier. So yeah, these are the best ideas so far that you can have. Also, based on development, the best province is Tyrone that you can start, but there's not that much of a difference, just the development. so there's nothing much to say. Fort wise I cannot see, but I think there's just one fort in Pale, and the rest are just level 1 forts. Now let's actually start, and we'll start with Tochmond to actually show you everything. Come on, load up. Actually, I'm gonna say something right now. They are not gonna be that great at the start. You're not gonna use advisors that much. The same goes for conquering tons of land. Although you're gonna be able to integrate this, it's gonna be quite difficult. So now, let's go over to government. As you can see, you're a federal monarchy, you're a duchy, right? You're a duchy. And there's nothing much to say here. You're not gonna be able to, let's go to economy tab, you're not gonna be able to actually afford advisors, so there's nothing much to say on the advisor front. You're just gonna actually go to national focus, then go to admin, so you can get faster ideas. And you're not gonna basically take any of these guys. You should probably make this guy into a general. Overall, the same situation is with all of these guys. You're not gonna be able to afford to have advisors or have good advisors. It's best to sink all of your cash into building more troops, and also be efficient with your leaders. If the heir is better than the leader, make the king into a ruler, into a general, so he can die faster, which I'm gonna do right now. And hopefully he'll die, etc. This and stuff. Diplomacy wise, I really don't know what to say. An alliance with England, you should be able to get it. An alliance with England, usually England wants to ally somebody around this area here. I don't know if you're lucky enough to be you. Let's see. See, they're friendly with Tyrone, with Ulster. Oh, they're friendly with you as well. So you should actually probably switch to friendly. I wonder if you can get an alliance. You're probably gonna be able to get an alliance. I don't know. Is this wrong, or I'm? Oh, that's the mountain attitude. So they are neutral to me. Sorry, I had to take it around, the other way around. But yeah, you should probably be able to actually ally England to some degree. Of course, if England is protective of you, they may actually ally you, as Tyrone is right now. Or let's say it's legal, no. But yeah, they may actually be protective of somebody which they want to make a vassal. At which point they actually it might be a problem for you, because you're not gonna be able to attack that guy to actually unite all of Ireland. Now, the cash situation is valid for all these guys. Same goes for the admin power stuff. Same goes for the leader. It's quite standard stuff. We already talked about diplomacy. Your main ally should be England if you can take it. Then kill the alliance and get an alliance with France. Probably kill Scotland as well, depending on the situation, but we'll talk about how you should actually plan the attacking earlier on. Later, not earlier on, later. Now, trade-wise, you are in the North Sea trade node. My recommendation is to basically collect here, to get a little bit more trade power from here, and collect here as well. My recommendation is to send your trade fleets, however many you have, into this area here. You have 7 of them, so send them in to protect trade in the English Channel trade node, so you can get more cash there. If not, send them to the North Sea trade node to get more cash there. There's nothing much to say there. It's valid for all of these guys here, for all of the OPMs. Irish OPMs, technology. Go for admin tech, max them out, max it out. Get it whenever you have the minus 5% modifier for being behind on tech, so you can actually save points. It's pretty standard stuff on admin. On diplomacy, save points and take tanks when you're actually at maxed. When you have max points. simply because you want to save diplo points for your first idea. For the military technology, get it before you go to war, get it when you're at war, try to use the modifier if at all possible, the -5% modifier. Again, it's up to you how you want to do it. Now, we already talked about ideas, and we have to talk about national ideas. Now, this is quite tricky, to be honest, because I would say that there's no right way to play it. Simply because, well, a greedy guy will go for exploration ideas and try to expand into North America as soon as possible. But you need Tech 7 for that, Tech 7 on Diplo. A more, let's say a more stable guy will probably go for influence, then expansion, perhaps then exploration, or go for influence and humanist or admin ideas, then go for exploration ideas. Again, it's situational. If I were to play, let's say right now, Ireland, I would probably go influence, expansion, exploration. You cannot use expand that much. Earlier on, so exploration is useless, and influence is gonna help you keep the aggressive expansion off your back and use the diplo points more efficiently to integrate Scotland, for example, whatever nations you actually take here. But yeah, and also admin for the core cost reduction. One might say that you can get a military idea at first and increase your actual power. You might actually want to take quantity ideas and have to have a better chance of fighting off England. That will require for you to go like this and focus on the military advisors. It can be pulled off, I would say, like getting a military idea first, then getting exploration ideas, and then getting I don't know, expansion ideas. It can be pulled off, I would say, although you need to actually have a quite good leader on the military points, on the military mana points. It's doable. I would say it's quite doable, but still, it's not that actual recommended. But yeah, a good player and an experienced player can use this to his best advantage to actually use the first military idea. Mainly because everything here is not that great for you, and you can actually get a decent amount of stuff. For example, the 50% national manpower modifier for the first idea is gonna increase your manpower by a huge amount. It's gonna actually give you, it's gonna give you 18,000 manpower, something like that, which is gonna be quite huge. If you take some more lands here, you're gonna reach quite a high number of max manpower, and you're gonna gain 150 probably per month. Again, it's gonna help you to some degree, and that infusion with the manpower is gonna help you conquer land faster. Same goes for manpower recovery speed or the regiment cost. Again, everything here is useful when you're small. Everything here is quite useful when you're small, and they're gonna be even more useful if you take them from the start. Again, it's riskier, but if you can pull it off, it's gonna be quite useful to you. Again, if you do this, you have to go for focus on the military ideas, and you're gonna get 7 points per year. Try to be careful with when you take military techs as well. It's again quite difficult, although if you can pull it off, it's gonna pay off big time. And this is my actual recommendation. If you're a good player, go for this. If you're a decent or new player, go for influence, then admin, then exploration, then expansion, then a military idea of your choosing, and play it safe. This again is valid for all of the Irish OPMs basically. Now, missions and decisions, there are not that many here. You have to form Irish nation. Decision here, you have to hold pretty much all of Ireland, I would say. Tyrone, Pale, Lannister. yeah, pretty much the whole of Ireland, and you can actually form it. Although, no, you have to own Pale as well, so you have to take this for England to form Ireland. And you need to have admin tech 10. Again, it's not going to make that much of a difference. You won't get any permanent claims. You're just gonna change your government to a kingdom, get the increased centralization modifier, and just change your tag to Ireland. That's about it. Nothing much. Now, let's move to the next tab, which is stability and expansion. Nothing much to say here as well. Standard stuff. Boost when you can. Reduce for exhaustion when you feel that you need to. Here on the expansion tab, we already talked about this in the expansion tutorial and guide, the colonization and expansion tutorial guide. You can check that out for a more in-depth look on exploration and colonization. As for your religion, you're Catholic. Every land here is also Catholic, as you can see, so there's nothing much to do. Once the formation starts, it's gonna be quite troublesome, and then you have to be quite careful. But then again, it's not that much important. The most important stuff is the early game and how you behave in the early game. Also, you have the papacy stuff. You don't have a cardinal to actually use it. It's there to be there. You're gonna get some. You can use these modifiers to take them to some degree, but then again, you're gonna have to get the papal influence, and as you can see, you gain 0.5 every year. So to actually get one of these things here, you're gonna have to wait for what, 100 years? Yeah, 100 years to get one of these decisions here. So, meh. That's why they're not that important. Now let's move to the military tab. As you can see, I have a force limit of 6 with a army force limit of 6 with a naval force limit of 12. My recommendation is to maximize the amount of troops you have. As you can see, Cork here has 5 and Kildare has 5, so try to build 6 as soon as possible and try to have a good general as well. But we'll talk about the general soon from the state tab. Try to maximize your overall force limit and build one more infantry and one more cav. Then start fabricating claims or using this here. For example, remove Clanry Cardiff from the map, and that will be, wait, what? Oh, Connacht, really? Oh, so that must be. Oh yeah, Clanry sorry. Before this, Connacht was basically called Connacht. My bad. I didn't get used to it. And now they're called Hydrak, so you can actually attack this guy here. If you actually have the mission or whatever one of these guys here. And just boost up to 6. Make sure you have a good general. As for your naval force limit, you basically have the same amount of troops, I would say. So there's nothing much on the same amount of navies. So probably if you actually send your ships here, they might not want to engage you, but even if they engage you, you're just gonna retreat back. You're not gonna lose that many troops, so just do it. Just retreat back. But yes, send them here, and hopefully they're not engaged. Also, remember that this is valid for all of these guys here. Like, they almost have the same amount of force limit, both naval and army, so the way you should play it is pretty much the same. And you have no forts. There are no forts in this region here except for the Pale Fort, which is a level 2. The rest are just level 1 forts. So siege value is gonna be somewhat important. Now let's go to estates. You should try to maximize your estates, but as you can probably see right now, you cannot maximize your estates simply because they are just at the base modifier here. Like, even if you actually grant monopoly or seek support or whatever you want to do, you're not going to be able to use these modifiers here because you won't have. So some of them can be taken. Some of them can be taken, but not all. For example, if you do this, let's actually do this everywhere so you actually can see. You can actually just demand, but you cannot do this important stuff to raise your influence. So you can demand 50 points if you want, although in my opinion it's a waste. Also, you shouldn't actually call a diet or grab monopoly charters yet, because the modifiers that you're gonna get are quite small, so they're not actually that worth it in the early games. Actually, you should save the bonus loyalty when you actually take more lands and you switch them to the control of the estates. Probably you're gonna give I don't know. You're gonna give Connacht to the nobility, because the nobility is gonna give you the military powers that you need, and you're gonna give, I don't know, Sligo to the clergy, and you're gonna give Cork to these guys here, to the burghers. So yeah, something like that to actually get your modifiers up. Also, let it be noted, again, let it be noted as always, that this is valid for all of these guys here. You just have to do a little bit of planning, and that's about it on the planning side. Also, one more small reminder: when you give them land, you're gonna increase their loyalty. So you can actually do this to get a little bit of modifiers here, and when you give them, they're gonna get more loyalty. Again, choosing the modifiers, it's up to you how you actually want to use them. Now, this is for the initial situation right now, and we'll talk about the conquering. Basically, the conquering is actually the same on every Irish basically OPM. They basically consist of fabricating a claim, attacking, calling allies, if at all possible. For example, right now, you cannot actually ally anybody, and this means that these guys will probably not be able to ally anybody. It's recommended that you actually check this first. Let's see, Sligo. So everybody's actually hostile to me right now, as you can see. Both Kildare, Desmond as well, Lannister, so I have like 4 actual rivals. If you look at here on opinion, let's see that these guys are neutral, so they might actually not get an alliance earlier on, though they might actually get an alliance if you actually declare war on them, and they're gonna get increased modifiers, being at war with rival or something like that, which is gonna help them. So if you actually cannot get an alliance, try to attack them as soon as possible to increase your actual fighting capabilities. This also comes in handy with the increased military tech, with the ideas that I talk about, with the national ideas of taking a military idea. Again, it's tricky, but it's quite good if you can pull it off. Now, let me drink because I'm parched, and let's actually talk about how you should attack. Always aim for the weak and wounded, because that's the best way. Aim for the weak and aim for the weakened. So for example, if this guy is at war with this guy and they fight, and this guy beats this guy and moves into the capital, and there's gonna be some more bloody fighting and they're gonna be weakened, go in, try to squash them. This is valid for all of these guys. There's basically just standard OPM stuff. Make sure you have claims fabricated on all of your neighbors, and also make sure that you actually rival them. For example, for Togmont, I will actually rival Connacht first. Connacht, this guy here, because you have a claim on him. Then I'll probably go for Cork, I would say. Cork being Desmond. And the last one I'll say that it should be Kildare, because he's more likely to be attacked, so we'll go for Kildare. Another small reminder: if you're actually not sure on who you should take as a rival, try to see what alliances they will take. Although this may actually not benefit you, because if they ally with your rival, you're not going to be able to get an ally with him. So try to set aside your rivals from the start. And now let's see. If you actually improve or get a dynastic or royal marriage with Tyrone, they may actually ally you. Same goes for Ostrad actually rival you. So our imaginary alliance with Tyrone is recommended. In my case, of course, not your case. This again is pretty much standard stuff. There's nothing much to say about. Although, be careful of your alliance of the country that England actually allies. So you should be careful of that nation and try not to attack it, or try to attack it by being smarter, for example, and declaring war on one of its allies. For example, let's say Tyrone allies England, and Tyrone is allied with Clan Ricarde. Yeah, Clan Ricarde. So you actually declare war on Clan Ricarde. They're gonna actually calling Tyrone, and you can actually annex Tyrone without them calling in England. Again, try to be a little bit tricky and try to use the mechanics in your favor. Now, let's go to the mid game. Actually, I would say that perhaps 15 to 20 years, maybe even less. Let's say actually 15 years should be enough, especially for you to actually conquer all of Ireland, I would say. So in 15 years you should have all of Ireland. These wars are not going to take that much. You don't have to wait for truces, etc. Just be careful of who you attack and who you can ally with. Remember, if you actually kill an alliance, you're gonna have to actually suffer the truce with that nation, the 5-year truce, so you're not gonna be able to attack them, so be careful of that as well. Now, let's say you conquered all of this land here. Most likely England is gonna be pissed off with you, and you're not gonna be able to maintain the alliance, and you're also gonna probably be able to actually rival England. So the next step is for you to ally France and set your sights on Scotland. Right, as you see, France guarantees Scotland, so you have to wait for France to be at war or be in a bloody war, or from them to revoke the guarantee so that they can be attacked. And then it's basically trench warfare. Like you have to wait for opportunities. Either if Scotland is called in into a war against Sweden, against Denmark on the side of Sweden, or against Sweden on the side of Denmark, or some war with Muscovy, with the allied Novgorod. Then you have to wait for opportunities, then attack. Now I recommend having quite a huge amount of base tax here. So troops basically. I would say 20,000 troops, all of Ireland and all of Scotland. I don't know how much development they're gonna give you, but you're not gonna be able to use 100% of it anyway, because of the the autonomy. So let's hope that you're gonna have somewhere around 25,000 troops, and you're gonna be able to send them here. Now, attacking England is gonna be difficult. You're not gonna be able to fight them on the sea, so try not to build ships. You're gonna have to actually wait for a moment of weakness and attack England. It's not gonna be able. It's not gonna happen at start. When you have the most opportunities due to the War of the Roses and the Lord heretics, which are most likely gonna fire. So you're gonna have to wait for them to be at war against France when France tries to take the course back. Let it be noted that England in this patch tends to get alliance with Austria, which is really gonna suck for you, because, well, you don't want to fight both the Austrian troops and the English troops. Also, let it be noted again that Austria cannot actually get to England, because they won't be able to move that many troops there, so they do not matter that much, because the main fighting is gonna happen on the mainland of England. But still, they're gonna get more alliance, more score, I guess, more alliance modifiers due to the huge amount of armies that are gonna be against you. Now, taking over Scotland should take you perhaps 30 years. So let's say that the year right now is 1490. I would say you have taken all of Scotland, or some degree the whole of Scotland. You should probably be able to get claims on these lands here. then in other words take these lands here and you should be golden. Then you should focus on England. Now, an alliance with France is imperative so that England doesn't attack you. You can get an alliance with Castile as well, or an alliance with anybody who actually rivaled England. That can be also true for Burgundy. Now, between Burgundy and France, the most reliable one is France, because the Burgundy might get a Burgundian Heritage event, which is gonna basically just kill your ally, which is not gonna be good. So France is more reliable, especially because they want to take their course back, which is gonna be good. And let's say that you take over England. It's gonna be a bloody war. I would say that actually by now you should probably have colonized in the New World. Let's go for TI a little bit. Should probably just So let's actually talk about colonization and how you should do it, because it's a little bit tricky and it's not that well documented, I would say, simply because you'll have to declare war on Norway, right? And you have to take over Scotland first to have a CB against Norway. So first you have to take Scotland over and have a decent amount of troops and ships to actually fight off Norway. Then you're gonna have to wait for a moment of weakness in the side of Denmark or Norway. If Norway is free, you can probably just kill them altogether with no problems. I would say if they're in a queue if they are in a queue with Denmark, it's gonna be even more difficult. If Denmark has a queue with both Norway and Sweden, it's gonna be quite impossible. So for you, exploration ideas and exploring into the New World is gonna be tricky unless you have the required tech, or you can actually island hop to here to Reykjavik. That's the only way. And then you can island hop here into Alexford, then into Canada, and America, the Northern American side, basically the 13 colonies here, then to Mexico. Then it just basically standard stuff. It's basically the reverse of my my colonization exploration, though you're not going to be able to move into India that fast. Actually, you might be able to move into India, but later on, probably in the 1650s, something like that. That's way into the late game, basically, way into the late game. There's that is not going to be actual reviewed in this session. Basically, you're mostly going to have to actually watch a series or a let's play on Ireland from a good let's player, of course, because crappy let's players are not going to show the full compatibility, not full potential of the Irish nations, basically. Now, let's say that you have taken over all of England. Now, let's say it's 1550. You have taken over all of England, or you're in the process of taking all of England. Whether you do it by diplomatic vassalization or just simply taking and coring, it's up to you. Your next enemy should be France, and after that it simply turns into an England gameplay. After that, with the colonies here, of course. Now, after your main targets after the mid game, so that's after 1550, are France, if they still exist, Burgundy, if they still exist, and Denmark or Norway or Sweden. Now, let's talk a little bit about how you should expand. You should keep a main focus on the English Channel trade node, then the Lubeck trade node, then the HRE electorship. With this in mind, the HRE electorship can be taken diplomatically. If you haven't actually saw me doing it in the trying to do it, not doing it in the BBB campaign, I'll try to make a video on it as well and show you how to actually do to become the HRD Emperor both diplomatically and militarily. Now, focus first on the English Channel trade node and on the Lubeck trade node. So you should probably focus on France, Burgundy, and the lands that are part of the HRE here. Now, if Burgundy still exists, they're gonna be easier to take. If the Burgundian inheritance happened, it's gonna be quite difficult to take because they're gonna be part of Austria or the current that emperor at that time. So they're gonna be quite difficult to be taken. So you should probably forget about taking over Antwerp. So that's actually Ghent, not Antwerp. Where am I wrong, man? No, there you go. Antwerp is here. So forget about taking Antwerp and Holland, and those big trade nodes. Those big promises with a huge amount of trade power. But also, you can probably just take call here, and you can have 50% of the trade power here. The same as England right now. Let's actually take a look at it. And England has 54%. You should probably have around 45, because you're not gonna have Calais, for example, and you're not gonna have the lower autonomy here, the same autonomy as England, which is gonna hurt you to some degree. And some other modifiers, for example, from the staple port of Calais, an event that happens with England. So yeah, stuff like that. Now, expanding to Lubeck trade node, then more of the North Sea trade node here into Norway, then the Baltic Sea as well is recommended. Do it with vessels, do it with coring, do it whatever you want, whatever floats your boat. It's up to you how you actually do it. I'm not gonna actually micromanage your playthrough, but again, try to actually be more efficient on points. Then here, Champagne, Bordeaux, again, try to aim for trade nodes. In this patch right now, building wide is not recommended, simply because you won't have enough enough states to actually manage all of that land. So try to build as tall as possible. So try to take lands that have a huge amount of development. And that is it. I mean, there's nothing much to say. If you have taken over France and the Lubeck trade node and the what's called the Baltic Sea trade node, you're gonna be basically full. Although this is gonna take you, let's say, 100 years or something like that. As for the New World, again, it's New World colonization expansion the standard way. So you just basically take this, go like this, and hop, form a nation around this area here, annex this guys into that nation, annex this guys into a nation from here, then slowly move into Africa and India, China, Japan, etc. Remember that from the Ivory Coast trade node, the trade can be moved wherever the fuck you want, to Bordeaux, to English Channel, to here, to the Caribbean, and to Seville trade nodes. So there are plenty of ways that the trade can go. So you're not going to be your trade power into these regions here is not going to be wasted. So try to use it as much as possible. And this is it for Ireland. There's nothing much to say. The early game is the most important stuff here with Ireland. So if you actually fuck it up and you actually have some setbacks, consider restarting. If you don't have a decent early game, or some stuff don't actually mix well, try to actually start the series, because you're gonna be hard pressed to actually manage to kill them or use the full potential. And this is it. It's just standard stuff with overextension and aggressive expansion, but I already told you about this several times in several initial situations and guides, so there's nothing much to say about it. Just be careful with your aggressive expansion. And yeah, for a third time, this is it. I hope you enjoyed this, guys. If you like this content, consider subscribing or liking the video, posting comments if you want me to do something special. For example, you want, I don't know, you want to see Crimea, or you want to see the Nogai, or whatever floats your boat. Just post it in the comments, and I'll probably do it. I don't have a fixed schedule for whatever countries I want to do, so I just load the screen up and I say, I don't know, Where do I want to go? I want to go into the Africa, and I choose a nation into Africa, and I consider it, and I'll see where I can play. I played a little bit and see what are the main rivals, how can I attack. I play for about 30 minutes an hour at speed 4 or 5 and see how it goes. Then I make a, I may not make a schedule, basically make a plan in my mind and I know what I want to talk about. Then I just actually do free speech because it's faster this way. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, guys, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.